John 1 verse 4. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. Welcome back to Devries Ministries. Now in verse 4, John is continuing on with his introduction of Jesus, and he tells us that Jesus is light. And he tells us that he is light and light of all mankind. That's actually worth repeating. He is the light of all mankind. Now this means every race, every tongue, every human being who has and will be born yet. Those in high places, those in low places. He is the light for those who live in our neighborhoods, our cities, our countries. He is a light to everybody that is in the world, and there are absolutely no exceptions. He is the light for those we love, for those we do not like, and even though it's hard, even those that we may have feelings of hate for. He was a light when he came into the world. He is still the light today. He'll be the light tomorrow, next month, next year, and so on and so forth. His light will not go out. Jesus is the light of all mankind, and he will shine in his way and in his time to all mankind. All mankind. So, my friends, keep praying for those who are heavy on your heart to pray for. Pray that when Jesus reveals himself to them, they will be ready to accept what the light reveals. Keep praying. Now, side note, the truth of Jesus being a light to all mankind, I so want that to change the way I see people. The people that I see when I'm in the grocery store, out walking or biking, when I'm at work, at play, wherever it is that I am, and whoever it is I see or have contact with, I want to see them for who they really are. Not who I think they are, but who they really are. And that is created by God, loved by God. And they, just like you and I, are being sought after by the light. And I pray that God gives me eyes to see mankind as he sees them. Now, Jesus is the light to begin with. This means that he displays, he shines, he radiates God's greatness, his power, his holiness, his love, and his mercy. Jesus shines the light on who God is and what his character is like. He shone the light on, or he turned the light on, if you will, so that mankind, so that you and I could see the revelation and the salvation of God. Not only that, he came to shine the light on God's love for us and how we were going to be rescued and saved. Now, where do we find this light? Bottom line, we find it in Jesus. And where do you and I find Jesus? Bottom line, it's the Bible. Now, yes, 100% we can see him in creation. And yes, we can see him in and through others. But the Bible is where we find Jesus' words and his actions. The light is on. Now, what does that mean for you and I? Well, let me share what it means for me. When I want to know how God feels about me, I look at Jesus. And I'm sticking with the theme of turning on the light. He has turned on the light. And I can see what he says, and I can see what he has done. And it tells me clearly how God feels about me. I am told that God created me, and I am told that I am a child of God's, that he is my Father. So when you have doubts, turn on the light. Go to Jesus. Do you want to know how God feels about, how we are to live? Look at Jesus. The light is on. He leads by example. Do you want to know what God thinks about the world we live in? How to treat others? What he thinks about injustice, the poor, the hungry? Look at Jesus. The light is on. He fought injustice. Actually, a good example of how Jesus feels about that is found in Matthew 25, verse 35 to 37. And this is what Jesus said. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. And the people that were listening to Jesus asked him, when did we do these things for you? And then Jesus responded, truly, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. He turned the light on. Do you want to know how deep God's love is for you? Look at Jesus. Actually, in John 14, verse 9, Jesus said, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. So, turn the light on and look to Jesus. He set aside everything. He came into the world and he did that for you and he did that for me. He allowed himself. He allowed it. He allowed himself to be killed a cruel death, and he did it because he loves you personally. He had you in mind and he had me in mind, and he died so that you and I could live. He suffered the worst kind of separation from God so that we wouldn't have to be separated from him. There is no greater love than what has been displayed through Jesus. And he rose from the dead, and he did that to show us the victory that he had over sin and death. He turned the light on so we could see. So we could see. You want to know about how deep God's love is for you? Do you want to know anything about God? Look to Jesus. He is the light, and the light is on. Until we meet again, amen.